briefly on those words that we heard. The video didn't happen, but we heard them straight from the Bible. And the verse that's on your picture. As you know, we're carrying on in a series we've been going through January and through February, looking at the different things that Jesus said about himself in John's Gospel. We call them the I am sayings. And the context of this passage where he describes himself as the vine. A little bit of context. This event takes place during Easter week. It happens on the Thursday night, just before Good Friday, when Jesus is killed. This happens just after Jesus and his disciples have eaten the Last Supper together. And so if you have your Bible and you look chapter 13 in John, right through to chapter 18, it all happens on the same night. So we're on Thursday night, just before Jesus is killed on Friday. And Jesus is there, he's with his disciples. All of the disciples minus Judas. Judas earlier on in chapter 13 has been exposed as the one who will betray Jesus, and he's gone out into the night. And so it's Jesus with his disciples minus Judas, and they're there. It's late at night, they've finished supper. And they have just left that upper room where they'd have supper. We don't know where they are, but they weren't in the upper room anymore. They've left, they've gone into the night. And so what we have is some of the last words of teaching that Jesus gives to his disciples. What Jesus says in today's passage is one of the last things that he says to his disciples before he's arrested and then he's killed. And what caused Jesus to say what he did was Judas. Back in chapter 13, Jesus had said, right, one of you is going to betray me. And none of his disciples knew what he was talking about. Who's it going to be? Is it me? Is it me? None of them knew who it could be. And then it was discovered that it was going to be Judas. Now imagine, Judas was one of these guys who had followed Jesus around everywhere for the last 3 years. All of the other disciples, they knew and they trusted Judas. Judas was the treasurer. So the other disciples, they trusted Judas with the money. He had been everywhere with them. And he'd seen everything with them. And yet these guys had just discovered that Judas actually wasn't really that committed. And so Jesus is speaking in this passage in response to that, as they process the fact that one of their number had been so close to Jesus and yet so willing to betray him. It is in that context that Jesus speaks today. And so Jesus' message that he gives to his disciples is that there are two types of disciples. There are two types of followers. If you like, there are true disciples and there are false disciples. And being a true disciple means more than just being close to Jesus. Being a true follower of Jesus means more than just being seen with Jesus. And so to illustrate the point, he then talks to them about a grapevine. He says, I am the true vine. Now, think about a grapevine for a moment. Here's a vine on the screen. If you've never seen one, they look a little bit like that. It's a bit of a messy one. And so when Jesus describes himself, amongst other things that we see in John, as a grapevine, what's he talking about? Think for a moment about the way that we use grapevine in contemporary use. Sometimes we talk about hearing things on the grapevine, meaning gossip. You will have heard me say, I don't do business on the grapevine. That grapevine is gossip, where lots of people are fed by one line of information. Let me give you one example of a grapevine. I heard this week that one line of grapevine that has been at work in some parts of the church. And usually I don't deal with grapevines, but I mention it today purely to give you an example and to shut down the rumour. One line of gossip that has been doing the grapevine is that there are people in another church who would attempt to take me to be their pastor so that somebody undesirable can come and pastor this church. One line of gossip on the grapevine that is absolute nonsense. Okay? I put that out there just to shut it down. The pastors of of that church I know well as personal friends. I know they're not going anywhere. And I reassure you that I am not going anywhere. Thank you. Grapevines. You know, there are more important vines to give your attention to. In gardening, a grapevine, if you picture it, it's a bit of a long, kind of straggly thing, and it's where all of the different branches that come off this vine are supplied by the one vine. And so they grow this fruit, usually grapes, and everything that they need comes through the one vine. This is where we get to. And so amongst all kinds of different ways that Jesus describes himself, in this particular moment he says, I am the true grapevine. The Greek that he uses literally means of all the grapevines, I am the genuine grapevine. I am the real grapevine. Everything is created by him. Everything is sustained by him. All of our needs are supplied by him. And so from this analogy of a grapevine, there are two things that I want us to remember. Two things that it is important for us to do to be true followers of Jesus. Okay? Can we remember two things as we go from here? Every time you see your picture on your fridge or on your wall, there's two things I want you to remember. Feel free to write them on the sticks if you've still got space. Number one, to be a true disciple, it is so important to be connected. Verse 4, Jesus says, remain in me. Remain in me. Not just in verse 4, 5 times in this passage he says, remain in me. Now remember the context of this. Judas, one of his disciples, has just been exposed as a traitor, and so you can be attached to Jesus and still not be a true follower. You can spend time with Jesus and still not be a true follower. You can come to church every week. You can sing all the songs. You can say all the right things. You can gain everybody's trust and still not be a true follower of Jesus. And Jesus says, remain in me. He speaks about a connection that goes deeper than all of that. Literally, it means to live in me, abide in me, begin and continue your life in me. Paul writes to the Colossians. Colossians 2. Verse 6. Just as you accepted Christ Jesus as your Lord, you must continue to follow him. Let your roots grow down into him and let your lives be built on him. Then your faith will grow strong in the truth you were taught and you will overflow with thankfulness. And that's a two-way promise. Stay connected. Remain in me is a two-way promise. It says, remain in me and I will remain in you. Verse 4 again, Ephesians tells us. Ephesians 3 verse 17, we read this, then Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love and keep you strong. Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Remain in me, I will remain in you. How do we remain connected? Well, the first thing, if you are not already connected, get connected. You say, Jesus, you know, I want you to take control of my life. Sorry for the mess that I've made of it. I want my life to be rooted in you. Come into my life. Give me everything that I need to live a life that follows you. That's easy to do. If you've not done it, speak with me. I'd love to pray that prayer. But we remain connected. Some of the ways that you might like to help stay connected to Jesus, well, by reading your Bible. John said last week, just a little bit every day, through which you can hear God's voice. I pray. As we pray, we speak to God, we hear from God. It's how we stay connected to Him. So important. Secondly, be fruitful. Verse 5, he says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. You see, the mark of a true follower of Jesus is that as we are connected to him, there is evidence of that in our lives. You know, we can be attached to Jesus, spend time with Jesus, come to church every week, etc., and not bear fruit. And not have anything to show for it in our lives. Jesus said those branches that have no connection to the vine, they'll be empty. They won't be fed. They won't receive anything they need for life. They won't show any sign of life. And so God will come along as the gardener. He'll chop them off and then they'll die and then they'll be burned. He says, but if you remain in me, verse 7, and my words remain in you, you can ask for anything you want, and it will be given to you. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. You see, as true followers of Jesus, we should display fruit in our lives as evidence that we are connected to and sustained by Jesus. What are some of those fruits? Paul tells us in Galatians about what are called the fruits of the Spirit. That they are, who can tell me what they are? Children, I'll start with you. No? I'll start you off. Love, joy, peace, patience. Oh dear, I think we're going to do a series in Galatians. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And Paul goes on and says, against these things there is no law. You see, these are the things that should be there in our lives. And now in the Bible it talks about gifts of the Spirit. Now cast your mind back to last year. We spent a few weeks talking about the gifts of the Spirit. I'm not going to test you, but I hope you remember those. And that's where he talks about the fruits of the Spirit. What's the difference? Gifts are something that are given. Think about Christmas or someone's birthday. You give somebody a gift. And so when we spoke about the gifts of the Spirit, we said that God gives to each of us gifts that can be used. Gifts are something that are given, but fruit you have to grow. Fruit has to be grown and developed. Verse 7, Jesus says, but if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you can ask for anything you want and it will be granted. You see, we can ask God to help us grow those things in our lives. Love. Love for God, love for each other. Joy. That as we go through life, whatever the circumstances, we can have a sense of joy and happiness and contentment, peace. That says, you know what, I can face whatever comes, and I know ultimately I belong to Jesus. Patience. Kindness. Goodness. Faithfulness. Gentleness. Self-control. If we ask God for those things, He will give them to us. Then it will show that we are true followers of Jesus. Okay, those love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Brilliant. Okay, now that screen is clear. Two things. That we are encouraged to do as true followers of Jesus. What were they? Firstly, be connected. Secondly, be fruitful. Fantastic. Do you know the result of that? If we are connected to Jesus and if we are fruitful, here are some of the results. Verse 4 tells us we have Jesus with us all the time. Anywhere we go, anything we do, we will have Jesus with us. Remain in me, I will remain in you. We have Jesus with us. Secondly, verse 5, we're told that we will do great things. those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. Thirdly, verse 7 tells us that if we stay connected to Jesus and fruitful in our walk with him, then our prayers will be heard and answered. If you remain in me, verse 7, my words remain in you. You can ask me for anything you want, and it will be granted. God hears and answers our prayers. We're told in verse 8 that if we stay connected to Jesus and stay fruitful, that we will be known as true followers of Jesus, and that is what makes God happy. There was no one on that, was there? Verse 8, when you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples, and this brings glory to my Father. And finally, as we stay connected to Jesus and are fruitful in our walk with him, our joy, it says, verse 7, will overflow. That we might be filled with joy to overflow. What great promises they are. Number 1, be connected. Number 2, be fruitful. Try it this week. See what happens. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for your word. Thank you for the reminder that we have had today, that you are the vine, we are the branches, that if we remain in you, you remain in us. Lord, I pray that each of us would know that to be true today and in the week ahead. Would you fill us with your Spirit? Help us this week to stay connected to you. And that as we live our lives in you, may we be fruitful. By your Spirit, would you help us to develop those things in our lives? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. When people look at us this week, may they see you. In Jesus' name. Just before we close, we'll sing our closing song in just a moment, but just before we do, I'd love to flag up next week. We will look at, continuing in the series on the I Am sayings, next week we'll be looking at something that I feel, and as an eldership and leadership team, we feel is really important for us as a church at this time of our lives. Can I plead with you to prioritise next Sunday as a date in your diary, 11 o'clock. And as we go through this week, I'd love to offer you, I'll put some on each table, some ideas as to ways that through this week, but not just this week, every week, you, as well as me, can prepare for sermons. Every week I spend about between 10 and 20 hours preparing to preach. I'd love to suggest on these lists ways that you could also prepare for our messages. And I ask you to start this week because next week we will look at something that we feel is really important. But it's a good habit to get into every week. And so take one as you go. Don't go just yet, but when you go, take one. And, tell you what, there'll be some spares lying around on the other tables because I gave them loads. Keep those in mind this week and every week. Oh yeah, there's plenty down the front, right, by the end they'll be at the back. And if anyone would like some grapes from the True Vine, do come and help yourself. But let's stand and sing our final song.